Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds. Ladies and gentlemen, let the battle of the fake bands begin.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the final episode
Woo!
of Battle of the Fake Bands.
Oh, man, they're all still fake. They still aren't real bands.
Well,
That's not even true. That's not even
that's
accurate.
not even true. They were fake, and we are extracting them from that moment in time in which they were fake, and we are judging them. Did we say our names? I'm your host, David Bell.
We did. Oh, no, wait. Did
I'm
we?
your host. I'm your host, David Bell.
I am a second host, Tom Ryman. I
maybe
legitimately
we already
don't
said
remember.
it. I don't know. Every moment is a blur.
Mm-hmm. Like not just time itself, but like moment to moment, I really lose grip. Like, my anchor on reality just is slipping easier and easier these days.
Yeah. It's like fucking in the mouth of madness over here.
Mm-hmm.
We're just repeating days and weird Lovecraftian demons. I don't know. We're balls deep in the pandemic, folks. What do you expect?
Mm-hmm. Every day is literally the same.
Yeah. Only just like with a little less hope, just like a little, like it shave off a little hope.
Mm-hmm. It's like there's been a leak in our hope tanks for the past 13 or 14 months.
No, we're great. Everything's great, Tom. We're doing great.
I'm thriving.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the kind of environment in which I do extremely well.
Oh, yeah. Same here. When I'm like fucking just, the pressure is on, squeezing me until we're perfect little diamonds, you know?
Yep, yeah. No, when you're just shattered and boneless at the lip of oblivion, that's me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're surfing the lip of oblivion.
Yeah, just gleaming the cube right on the edge of oblivion.
Oh, no.
I'm doing some fucking sick, fucking
ollies?
Lip
what
tricks.
do people do?
You do lip tricks like vert grabs and shit.
Sure. Hey,
I'm doing those things.
Thanks to Matt Osborn, our Patreon producer, Big Oz Country.
I guess.
No, I think I know so.
For a certainty.
I know. I don't guess.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Osborn is the individual who produced this show.
Yes.
We're at the final one. We're at the final one. This is it, folks.
Yeah, and we've reached a bit of a conundrum.
Have we?
We have. Well, I mean, in the interest of time, I think we should explain to everybody.
All right, yeah, real slowly. Let's explain it real slowly. Look, folks, the average, I don't know if you know this, but the average podcast episode is like 45 minutes.
About 40 to 45 minutes.
That isn't to say other podcasts aren't shorter lengths. You could have a podcast that's 20 minutes, for example. You can have a podcast that's like 10 minutes. That's just like the news.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a podcast that's just explaining things really slowly to stretch for time.
You could also do a podcast about one of the Twilight sequels.
Yeah.
And it'll be 4 hours long.
And it'll be 4 hours long. That's true, Tom. That can happen. I'm still not sure how.
That is
it can be 4 hours long, but it can. Yeah. No idea what that's speaking of just blacking out 1 minute to the next. My God.
Yeah, you did. I wasn't even there for that. That was all you.
Yeah. That literally the 4 hour one ended with me and Ganser literally being like, okay, we got to stop. Like out of basic survival, like hunger and thirst. and like just soreness, we had to stop.
I can't believe neither one of you had to stop to shit.
No, you can shit
It's just like the
you
real
can podcast on the toilet.
That's true.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised they don't make chairs for computers that you can poop inside.
I'm sure they do. We could make that chair.
Let me go ahead and Google toilet chair.
Yeah, we could make that chair pretty. You just need
toilet.
All you really need
chair.
is a chair, and like a saw and a bucket. That's all you really need, and then you can make your own poop chair.
Okay, I'm happy to report that I don't see a toilet chair, computer chair. I see like medical chairs for pooping better or more comfortable.
Yeah, more aerodynamically. More ergonomic
exactly.
poops.
I see a throne of the Grim Reaper. It's an armchair. It's $1,300.
I need to know
Wayfair.com. Someone get us this.
I need to know how many bones are involved in this chair and whether or not I can poop in it. Now, I know I can poop in it. Regardless of the manufacturer's intention.
Yeah, there's a open chest cavity in the chair. Mm-hmm. You can't poop where you would normally poop in a chair, but you can poop in the chest cavity. In order to, you can poop in the chair, is my point. It's not like pooping in a toilet, though.
I'd have to
the same way you can kind of poop in any chair if you, like, tear open the chair and poop inside.
You don't even need to do that.
Yeah.
You don't even need to take that step if you just want to poop in a chair.
Well, okay.
Like, the opening is optional.
Okay, well, all right, let's break this down real quick. So you're talking about pooping while in a chair, not pooping inside of a chair.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually talking about both.
Okay. I think it's better to poop like inside of the chair.
I mean, obviously that's ideal. I'm just saying you can poop in any chair.
Sure. But imagine, if you will, like someone's favorite like recliner, and what you do is you take a knife and you cut open a small slit and you poop inside of it and you sew it right back up. Mm-hmm. So there's just poop in the chair. Yes. And it's like kind of moving around in there. Mm-hmm. After a while, it kind of hardens.
Right. No, it'll become fossilized, and then it will become part of the structure of the chair.
Yeah.
Like stalactites.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, yeah, poop stalactites in a poop cave. That is your buddy's favorite recliner.
That is your friend's recliner. Okay.
Yep. Or an uncle.
Yeah.
Grandfather, of these.
You can be friends with your uncle.
That's true. You can be friends with your uncle. So we got to the bottom of this.
Yeah, no, the point is that we realized that this episode is going to be way shorter than the other two episodes.
Yeah, so we're trying to think of ways to like stretch, and I don't know, maybe we'll come up with something to like get like, I don't know, pad it by like 10 minutes would be great.
To get like 9 minutes and 26 seconds of time.
Yeah, something like that.
Like extra time out of that. That would really push us over into acceptable podcast length.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even know if this is going to be a short episode. It's just that the amount of bands we're dealing with is lower. That's what it comes down to. I think we mentioned these are the semifinals and the final battle. We're going to today name the best fake band.
Yeah.
And so we're pulling from the winners of the last two episodes, pitting them against each other via genre, and then taking the winners of that and putting them all in a big old bucket and letting them fight it out.
Yeah. That's exactly correct.
In order to avoid repetition, we're going to judge each semi-finalist by some specific criteria. We have 4 qualities. We're going to judge them by how good we think the live experience would be. Mm-hmm. Our desire Yep. Our desire to hang out with the band themselves, like what that would be like.
Also important.
Yep. Their actual music, pretty important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's up there. That's near the top.
Yep. And then just the general behind the scenes, like the meta of the band, the movie or show they were in, the legacy they've left behind, what they mean to entertainment, either music or movies or TV. etc.
Mhm.
So that's our criteria. How do we want to tell people what the bands are right away, or do we want to just go down starting with the blues folk genre?
I think we just go, man.
All right.
Or we could, I don't know. What do you think?
I think they can listen to the past episodes to see how we got to this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give this disclaimer every time. If we forgot a band you liked, that's a shame. You know?
Yeah, that's bad. That's too bad.
Yeah. And obviously now we're down to a very few bands. So if you're wondering how we got here, yeah, maybe we mentioned some of your favorite fictional bands before this moment.
I hope we did.
Just no yelling at us. I feel like this is one that people are very opinionated on.
It might be. I don't know. I've not noticed.
I haven't either. So I'm basing it off of nothing. All right, let's start with our blues folk genre. That is the Blues Brothers in our movie category versus Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. The Muppet blues band. It should be noted that Dr. Teeth is also a movie band. Technically, they've been in Muppet movies.
That's true. They
they
might
have originated in one. Yeah. So let's start with the old live experience here, Tom. Which band would you rather see live?
This is a legitimately difficult question.
Okay.
Because on the one hand, you get John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd
just coked out of their minds.
Just snowblind on mountains of cocaine.
Doing cartwheels and whatnot.
Doing cartwheels, sweatily blowing into harmonicas.
Yeah.
Shucking and jiving all over the stage. Singing blues standards, classic blues standards.
Yeah.
And then you got the Muppets doing a whole ass Muppet show.
Let me okay, so in preparation I watched a lot of just videos of all these bands, as many performances as I could find.
That's really good. I'm glad one of us did that.
Yeah. The Blues Brothers is definitely a better live performance. Usually for the sake that if you're there's like something going on, some sort of weird plot happening within the show. It's the audience is generally having a better time. The venues look better.
Mm-hmm.
That said, if you're sitting in the audience of a Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem show, in this universe, that means Muppets exist where you are.
Uh-huh.
You are in a world where Muppets exist.
Well, that's true.
That's a whole new species.
That's That's an entirely new type of animal of creature.
That means like fur coats, different types of fur coats. Maybe their fur is softer.
Yes, absolutely. Are you kidding me? Yeah, no. There would be a whole industry based around slaying Muppets for their pelts.
There's a whole meat genre.
Uh-huh.
Like a whole new
type
meat
of meat.
genre.
It's not quite Beyond Burger, but it's not red meat.
It certainly isn't immoral to eat a Muppet.
No. What are they going to do?
Yeah, have a soul about it? No, I think not.
Mm-mm. No.
So there's that factor there.
There's that
so
factor.
Seeing the Muppets live.
There's also let me offer to you as a counterpoint. If the Blues Brothers, if you're seeing the Blues Brothers live in concert in 2021, that means death doesn't exist.
That's true. Let's not. I feel like that's a little meta, because we're in their universe, right? We should agree on this, actually.
Okay, so
are we in their universe, seeing them live?
I suppose so. Yeah.
Okay.
So
but you're right, because if we saw them now, that would be terrifying.
Right. That would technically mean that we are not watching John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. We are watching Jake and Elwood Blues.
Yes.
And for all we know, Joliet Jake is still alive.
Yeah. We should just give these a rating, right? Like, how would you rate the live experience of the Blues Brothers, and how would you rate the live experience of Dr. Teeth? We don't have to prefer one. Unless it's a tie down the middle, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if we just, like, between 1 and 5, how would you rate your desire to see them live?
Oh, man.
Or how enjoyable seeing them live would be.
And
we're going to have to use our personal feelings here, right? Because, like, I would give it maybe a 4 because I don't like blues that much.
Yeah.
Personally, let me just share my thoughts. I would give the Blues Brothers a 4, but I would give Dr. Teeth a 5 because of Muppets. Because there'd be Muppets there.
That's true.
Like, Muppets instantly add something for me.
Yeah. I can't argue with that. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Because I'd be more excited to see, the Blues Brothers because they're comedy icons, but they're not like being funny during the performances. Right. They're just being blues musicians.
Right.
And yeah, I think we must have talked about this on the first episode of this, but like the Blues Brothers is kind of a boring movie.
Yeah, well, we'll get to the movie.
I think
seeing them live. Seeing them live,
I think I'd be more excited to see Dr. Teeth. I think you're probably right.
Okay. All right, let's lean it towards Dr. Teeth then. Let's do it by like Teeth wins then.
Yeah.
Okay. Second. Oh, this is a hard one. Second. Okay. Desire to hang out with the band.
Oh, shit.
Which band do you want to hang out with?
They're both 5s.
Yeah, they're both 5s. You're right. Tie. All right, hang out.
That is just
tie.
Across the board a tie.
All right, here's what I would argue. They're both either 5s or 0s, depending on where you are at in life. They both are the same
depending on
energy.
Where you are in your life and what point of the evening you're hanging out with them.
Yeah. Because they both could be a real bummer.
They're both going to be a real bummer at one point.
Yeah. All right, next one. Actual music. I'm going to go ahead and say Blues Brothers, having listened to a bunch of them back to back.
Yeah, Blues Brothers definitely has the edge there. I genuinely would not listen to either band.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, the Blues Brothers perform better music for sure.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And final one is behind the scenes, the meta. Who's doing it? Now, I looked into Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, and I gotta say, the original band, it's the two, like, Dr. Teeth is Jim Henson. Animal is Frank Oz. So that's Jim Henson and Frank Oz doing a band together.
Yeah, rocking the fuck out.
Yeah, then it's Jerry Nelson, who is he's the Count.
Oh,
and other things, obviously.
Sure, yeah. You're never just Muppet.
Yeah, Fran Brill, who she, I don't know if you know that name. After looking her up, she was in What About Bob? She was Lily, Richard Dreyfuss's sister. She's just done a bunch of Muppet voices as well. But like the main thing there is fucking, Frank Oz and Jim Henson doing a band together. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's basically Frank Oz and Jim Henson versus John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd is how I'm looking at this.
Yep.
So what would you say? But then there's of course the legacy of Blues Brothers, which is kind of undeniable, right?
Yeah, I just, in terms of like Jim Henson and Frank Oz versus Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi, I kind of have to lean towards Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi just because like chaos is where my heart lives.
Well, but I would lean there with you because again, the Blues Brothers is like you go to Universal and they're there. They're characters. Dr. Teeth isn't. You know what I mean? Mind you, Kermit is. Other Muppet things are.
Yeah.
But that's not who we're talking about.
No, we're talking about Dr. Teeth.
Yeah, and if we're talking about personal legacy, like Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi also did other things. So I would give it to Blues Brothers as well. Which means that the winner is the Blues Brothers.
That checks out.
Yep. So that's the
Okay, we're going to be fine for time.
Yeah, we are. And in fact, it was unnecessary for us to have done
We
that.
were worried, you guys.
Not gonna cut it out.
Oh, fuck no.
No. All right, let's go to our next one. This is going to be a little harder because I'm less aware of a lot of the. Oh man, okay. We're going into punk.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Stains, as in Ladies and Gentlemen, the Fabulous Stains, and the Queen Haters, as in the SCTV sketch. There's a lot here.
There's a lot
There's
to
a
unpack.
lot here. Yeah. All right. So, holy shit. The Stains are like, God. Okay. Well, let's talk about live experience. Which band you'd rather see live?
Mm-hmm.
The Queen Haters are like a parody of the Sex Pistols. The Stains are like a legit, all-female punk band.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why,
with a specific kind of vibe, though, that I'm trying to put my finger on.
like a 70s, oh God, it's like a Susie and the Banshees type vibe, I would say. Like, I'm trying to, I should have looked up what specific type of punk rock this is, but it's like early 80s, kind of still a little bit of the 70s bleeding over.
Yeah.
They're based off a real band called The Stains, which is all dudes, I believe. They have like one song in the movie, which is The Professionals. I still have to see this movie. When we get into the meta and who plays what, it's going to be a real shit show.
Yeah, it's gonna be real mayhem.
Yeah, in terms of live experience, I have to say I'd rather see The Stains. And here's my argument is that the Queen Haters are supposed to be the Sex Pistols, where the Stains are supposed to be kind of a smaller band that I think they later sell out. But like, I'd rather, like, the Stains seems more likely to see a more intimate, like, basement type show or a smaller show, whereas the Queen Haters is probably just like a broader group and bigger shows and like a little more irritating.
Right, I was about to say it's also like dirty ass crust punks.
Yeah, and like yeah. Well, no, the Stains I'd say is dirty ass crust punks too, but like the Queen Haters is almost like
less.
It's punks and it's also just like they, I don't know, if it's the Sex Pistols, then it's like you're also going to get people who aren't into punk who just want to see them.
Yeah. It's the more
depending on the era.
It's the more obnoxious version.
Yeah, and they'll probably do more obnoxious shit on stage.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the performance that we watched of the Stains from the movie was kind of low key.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like,
they're just up there, just
pretty straightforward.
dancing.
Yeah. Just kind of playing the song.
I think there's generally going to be I think points in my heart against the Queen Haters because they're a parody. So they're an exaggerated version of the Sex Pistols, a band that's already kind of a parody.
I was about to say
themselves.
They're really not that much of an exaggeration.
Yeah.
It really is kind of just the Sex Pistols.
Right. Yeah.
With a different name and lineup.
So would you say the Stains for live?
I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like the Queen Haters would be a more fun show, honestly.
Okay. So taking into account watching them on stage.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You're right. The
I
Queen
feel like
Haters, now that you mention it.
I would be more likely to connect with the Stains and like buy their album afterward, because their show strikes me much more as a show where you go and you're really paying attention to the music and what they're playing.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
And
Queen Haters,
and the Queen Haters
live.
is just like we're going to a show, we're just gonna get fucked up and do the mosh pit and just enjoy a live show.
You're right. All right, well, let's give it to the Queen Haters and go to desire to hang out with the band.
I'm going to say, okay.
We don't, if we watch The Fabulous Stains, we'd know more about their personalities.
That's true.
But if you saw these bands and then someone was like, hey, you want to go backstage and hang out with them?
I would say
that's what we're asking.
If it's the bands like as their fictional characters, I would pick the Stains. I would never want to hang out with the Queen.
Yeah,
Haters.
I would never. Okay, yeah, that's what I was getting to here.
Yeah,
is we're talking about fictional.
Yeah,
yeah. All right, actual music.
I
mean, I'm giving that straight to the Stains. To be honest,
I like this because I like the Stains song more. Yeah.
Yeah, you said it. Watching like actual like. What album would you buy? I would listen to the Stains regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so finally we're this one's. I think some of these it's going to be harder than others. It looks like.
Yeah.
Final one. The meta, behind the scenes, quality of the movie, quality of the show. All right, so we have Laura.
Here's the
Laura
real meat.
Dern
Here's
and
the
Diane
real meat.
Lane,
Yeah,
right?
It's Laura Dern and Diane Lane in the Stains.
Yeah. Versus Martin Short, John Candy, and Eugene Levy.
Eugene Levy and Joe Flaherty.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bunch of Second City guys.
This is a real bummer.
An English fucking street punk band.
Fuck. All right. SCTV. There's also something in that has a bigger legacy, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's still a sketch, but I feel like
I personally would get more hanging out with the SCTV guys.
Well, it's not just hanging out; it's just like what it means.
What it means
in general.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think SCTV, but this is why I think that behind the scenes should go to them. But this is the issue. Is that if we had given this each one a rating of 1 to 5, we wouldn't have this tie.
That's true.
And what matters more is the other question, because certain things should matter more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, if I had to eliminate one of these, I would immediately eliminate the Queen Haters just because the actual music is so much better. With the Stains, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Than the Queen Haters. That means the most to me because that's ultimately what we're talking about, right? That said, the sketch for the Queen Haters is fucking hilarious. John Candy makes me laugh every single time I look at him.
Such a good gag.
Yeah, so the question is like, how do we break this tie?
I don't know. That is an interesting question.
Does it have an answer? Do we flip a coin? Is there anywhere they're close?
I don't know, because like they're both bands are not anything in pop culture of the zeitgeist. They were like they were like one-offs that these very famous people were involved in.
Right.
So it's like people know Diane Lane and Laura Dern. They don't know the hell the Fabulous Stains are or have ever heard of that movie. And it's the same thing with the Queen Haters. It's like, oh, it's a group of some of the most famous comedians on earth. But it was the sketch they did one time, like 40 years ago.
Would you agree that the music is the most important? Like, can we use the music as a tiebreaker?
I think so, unless one of the two groups is playing a cover.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's interesting because the Stains is playing a cover.
Yeah. Which it's
the Queen Haters is technically original song, but it's a parody of the Sex Pistols.
Yes. Yeah. So it's I don't know. It's a tricky one because like I feel like playing.
No, you have a good point.
Right,
you have a good point.
Like playing a cover is an unfair advantage. The fact that the Stains aren't
original music is a hit.
Yeah.
So we're still at a standoff.
We're still at
again.
an impasse. Yeah.
Should we flip a coin?
I don't know.
That
man.
Seems improper.
It does. This is a battle.
Should we make them both win? All right. Here's the argument for they both win.
I mean, we know what's going to happen at the end of this episode.
Uh-huh.
So it kind of doesn't matter.
Here's the argument: is there's going to be 5 finalists, right?
Yeah.
6 would make it even.
Sure.
For the bracket.
Sure, if you're interested in having even brackets.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, fine.
Look, we're doing it. I'm putting both the Stains and the Queen haters.
Mm-hmm.
We love them both.
We really do. They're incredible, and you should look them both up.
Yeah.
Let's so good, so good. Let's move on.
Let's move on to the Wonders versus Gem and the Holograms. Now, that Thing You Do is a bangin' song. Gem and the Holograms have many songs. That's something to keep in mind.
Yes.
I guess we start with the live experience. Which band would we rather see live?
Probably Gem and the Holograms.
I think yes. I think definitely Gem and the Holograms, right?
Right, because like that
they got like magic and shit.
Well, yeah, the Wonders are like early Beatles, right? Like that's who they're supposed to be. So they're like they're early 60s rock and roll you can listen to that won't make your parents insane because they're clean-cut boys wearing suits.
Right. If you're seeing the Wonders live and you're not like a white person, it's probably bad. Right?
I don't know that it's necessarily bad, but it's like not the most like we see.
It's not the best time.
We see a lot of their performances in That Thing You Do, and they're a tight band, but they're not particularly that interesting to watch.
They also just play that one. They also just play that one fucking song.
Well, we see them play. That's My Only Dreams, I think, is another. We get a couple of Wonders songs in That Thing You Do,
but like Gem and the Holograms.
But Gem and the Holograms. The point I was building up to is you have that versus Gem and the Holograms, which is like peak of 80s glam.
Yeah.
Like I'm watching that band.
Yeah, you're gonna see lasers and smoke machines and shit.
Fucking magic probably at one point.
These fucking smiling honkies like rocking back and forth
just
slightly.
These honkies, these nerdy ass jabronis.
Yeah,
playing a real catchy song.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, which band would we rather hang out with?
Probably Gem and the Holograms.
It's gotta be Gem, right?
Right.
They're just cooler in general.
Right, and they're fucking
I don't
magic.
need to hang out. Yeah. I don't need to yeah, they're magic. They go on adventures and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I mean, that's easy.
Yeah.
Actual music. I have to give it to Gem and the Holograms again, having listened to the other Gem songs.
Mm-hmm.
Versus the Wonders. Okay. Well, maybe it's not this simple because so that Thing You Do is actually a banging song.
Uh-huh.
And so I'll give them that. Mm-hmm. It's a legit banging song.
Yeah. It's Fountains of Wayne, which I'm sure we mentioned on the original podcast, but that is the band who wrote that song and performed it. Well, actually, I think the guys in the movie perform it in the movie. I'm not sure. Anyway, it was written by Fountains of Wayne.
Yeah. But Gem and the Holograms has more music.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all like weird 80s synth and like, you know, it's
kind of bitchin'.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think I might have to give it to Gem and the Holograms.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that one's a tight one, but I think Gem.
Because the Wonders do have good songs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they do. But still, like, I'd rather listen to Gem and the Holograms.
I would listen to it more often for sure, because that's usually my mood is right around Gem and the Holograms.
Yeah. So that brings us to the meta of it all. This is interesting because I'd say Gem and the Holograms has a longer legacy. It's the Hasbro, Marvel, it's the G.I. Joe Transformers like group.
That's true. That
said, That Thing You Do has way more talent behind it.
Way more talent, and I don't know if this is accurate, but I get the feeling, just judging by what I've seen on working for a couple of different pop culture websites and having that specific lens on social media and stuff, I suspect there is an equal level of nostalgia for the Wonders.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, they're coming back. Also, Steve Zahn, man. You got Steve Zahn, you know?
Yeah, Tom Everett Scott, fucking Jonathan Sheck.
And then that
Jonathan
H guy.
Sheck up in there.
Yeah. Liv Tyler. But mainly written and directed by Tom Hanks, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel bad giving it to the Wonders for this one. Because they're going to lose. Because Jem swept otherwise.
Yeah, I was just pointing out that like people of a certain age are going to be maybe more nostalgic for Jem, but then there's also people who are in their late 20s, early 30s now are going to be super nostalgic for That Thing You Do. So
yeah, for sure.
It's like a pretty even split, I think.
Yeah.
Also, that Jem movie that they did a few years back really fucking bombed.
Yeah.
Nobody cared about that.
It didn't look good. Didn't look good.
Like
Although I don't know anything about it.
It had nothing to do with the cartoon, really.
Really?
Like, they're not magic, I don't think. Like, they did like a really lame...
Fuck, it's directed by John M. Chu, though, who did the G.I. Joe Retaliation, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So I don't know, maybe Bruce Willis is in it.
Oh, yeah, fuck, maybe.
Yeah.
As G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a
Gem
shit?
and the
Just put
Holograms.
him in there. They're all owned by the same company anyway.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Yeah, man.
Just put him on drums. All right, well, let's get to our final one. Or not final, second to final.
Mm-hmm.
This is Thugnificent versus CB4. Now, I've been listening to a lot of Thugnificent. What's the fucking song F Granddad? Which is fucking amazing. But we'll get to music right now. What would we rather see live? CB4 or Thugnificent? All right. So
that's like a legit question.
Yeah. All right. I kind of want to. I'm actually leaning towards CB4.
That was like my knee jerk reaction was CB4.
Yeah, because the era, the environment of a CB4 concert just seems less. Just from what I know of Thugnificent, Thugnificent seems kind of like bigger. Depending on when you're seeing, of course, CB4, they get big as well. But generally speaking, I think I'd want to see CB4 live.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have much reasons other than that's just the band that I like more and would want to see.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say?
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Okay. All right, let's give it to CB4.
Mm-hmm.
Who do we want to hang out with? This is tough because CB4, it's basically Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't mind hanging out with a young Chris Rock.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you know, like there's that.
Yeah.
But Thugnificent is also fucking incredible.
But also, you could go to Thugnificent's house.
Fuck, you're right. Thugnificent probably has a lot more going on.
His house is loaded with statues of himself.
Fuck. So which one ultimately? Yeah, I think maybe Thugnificent.
I'm thinking Thugnificent, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
He'd be part of his Lethal Injection crew.
Yeah. All right, actual music. Here's the thing.
I unironically like Straight Outta Locash, and I also unironically like what's the name of the main Thugnificent song?
I don't know what the main one is. Having listened to F Granddad, that song is great. This is tough because CB4 is definitely more the type of band I would listen to.
Mm-hmm.
But they only have the one song, and also it's because CB4 is just a parody.
Yeah,
of NWA.
There's so many good Thugnificent fucking booty butt cheeks, stomp them in the nuts.
I think we have to give it to Thugnificent. I
was thinking of booty butt cheeks, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think because they're original songs.
Yeah, and they're fucking incredible songs.
They're fucking incredible songs. Which brings us to the meta. Thugnificent is played by Carl Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about him or what he's done. The Boondocks is a great show.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. But then we have CB4, which is,
yeah,
Chris Elliott, man. I mean, also Chris Rock, but Chris Elliott.
But primarily Chris
Everybody
Elliott.
Loves.
Yeah. That's the big one.
But yeah, and then fucking Phil Hartman and Charlie Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's CB4.
Yeah,
it's from the director of Half Baked and Billy Madison. Tamara Davis.
Yeah, that's Mike. She's married to Mike D.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from the Beastie Boys. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So kind of CB4, I would say, is for me at least, it means more. But this is also very subjective,
That's it. That's incredibly true. Yeah. I mean, a lot of this is because it's based on taste. But yeah, I have more of a personal, I guess, connection with CB4. It's probably for the same reason you, because I've been watching it since I was like a teenager.
Yeah, here's what I'll say. No matter who we give it to, I think Thugnificent should win.
Yes.
Okay. That works for me. Because Thugnificent is definitely just because it's beyond one song.
Mm-hmm.
And those songs are great. So I guess this brings us to our final lineup here. Spinal Tap versus Death Glock.
Okay.
So so there's a few things here. There's a few things to think about.
There are a few things to think about here, yeah.
So the first thing is the live.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. Which band would you rather see live? I have to go, I think I can't see Death Glock because you die, right?
I have seen Death Glock.
Right, but I'm talking about in the Death Glock in the universe.
Death Glock universe. Well, you don't always.
Yeah, but there's a
real good chance. Yeah.
Like that does mean something, right?
They also exist in a universe where they are the biggest economy in the world.
They're definitely like,
and their music is so good that the loss of life is just something that people accept.
Right. That's
like
the thing.
Their live performances are so good. Yeah.
And they are that good. When you watch them live, they are extremely good live. You might get murdered.
You might. It's a possibility. It is a non-zero possibility.
Whereas Spinal Tap, you might see one of them explode on stage. You might see something happen to them, but you're safe.
Mm-hmm.
This is hard because it's kind of a question of, do you want to live in that world? And I honestly don't know if I'd want to live in that world, the Death Glock world. See one of those shows. They're brutal shows. I don't think I would survive going to Death Glock.
That's fair, yeah.
What do you think?
I mean,
We're talking about the conditions of the live show. They're definitely a better live show.
Yes.
But you might die.
Right. But also they're performing at like the Arctic Circle with giant pendulum scythes and a submarine.
Right.
And whales and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, I kind of have to see that.
Fuck. Do we give it to Death Glock?
I mean, how do you rate the possibility that you might get killed by a giant troll?
Right. Versus you're seeing the most amazing thing. Is it... All right, here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you afford to go to these shows?
That's an excellent question because they're always packed. And they're full of shitty teenagers.
Yeah. Okay. So they're probably affordable,
mm-hmm.
but how are people getting there? I assume
I'm sure getting there is on you, the same as it is for any concert.
Right. And so getting there probably costs a fortune.
Yes.
I'm just wondering if in this universe, it's more likely that we'd be watching Death Glock on television than actually seeing a Death Glock show.
That might be more likely. I don't know.
But that's besides the point. It's just about you're at the live show.
Mm-hmm.
Which one would you prefer? Rolling the dice on Death Glock?
Yeah, I think
because that's the thing
so. You're gonna see some incredible shit.
Exactly,
you
and not
might
knowing
die,
what the venue necessarily is either.
Yeah.
But I think I'll have to go with Death Glock.
Yeah,
that's a really hard decision.
Mm-hmm. It really is, yeah.
As is this next one. Actually, this isn't that hard. Who do you want to hang out with more?
Oh, that is kind of hard.
All right, well, this isn't the meta.
I know.
It's just, who do you want to hang out with more? It again, kind of depends on your mood. Death Glock, I would say you're even more likely to die if you're hanging out with Death Glock. They don't die.
No.
But you will die, right?
Possibly.
It feels
that's one of the factors, but like what's the thing that's like making this difficult for me is I feel like it would almost be the same experience hanging out with either.
Well, personality wise, yes.
Because like
they're both kind of adorable.
Right. The joke is the same for both bands in that they're both idiots.
Yeah, they're clowns.
they're children. They're just little children. But
Death Glock's bullshit gets you killed. Could get you killed. Mm-hmm. Although they're careless is I guess what I'm saying. As they're not necessarily mean, but they're careless.
And things tend to happen around them.
Exactly. Which is why again I would say hang out with Death Glock. Here's the thing. Basically, this is what we're weighing with Death Glock is, are they, is the experience of where you are worth dying for? Because when you hang out with Death Glock, you're most certainly going to be in like a castle, you know?
You'll probably be at Mordhouse. Yeah.
Yeah. But you could die.
You could die. Yeah.
And not in a way.
Fair, yeah.
And I think what's scary is it's not in a way where you have control over it. You might die because something bursts through the wall and like kills you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no saying how you'll die. You don't have that control.
You might trip and get impaled on Murderface's codpiece.
Exactly. That said, I think I would rather hang out with Death Glock. But again, this is a tough one.
Playing Wheelchair Bound with Murderface.
Yeah, I think I like. This is so hard.
It is. This is a difficult question.
Where are you leaning here?
I don't know. It's because there's also this also depends on how you feel about like their side characters. But if you're hanging out with Metalocalypse, there's a chance that Toki's gonna bring fucking Dr. Roxo.
Oh, see, I'm banking on it.
So you'll get to hang out with Dr. Roxo.
I want to hang out with Dr. Roxo. Like Spinal Tap's fun, but they're pretty low key. It's what you said is they're both clowns, but one is more extravagant.
Yeah.
they're both pretty extravagant.
Yes.
But one is like you're hanging out in fucking Mordor.
Yeah.
Which is why it's like, well.
Yeah. I got to go with Metalocalypse. With fucking Death Glock, because as I said earlier, chaos is where my heart lives.
Yeah,
I need that sweet chaos.
Well, let's talk about the music. So I've obviously listened to a lot of Death Glock, biased towards Death Glock. Spinal Tap is so fucking good.
They are,
and that needs to be noted. Like their songs are great.
Mm-hmm.
They're funny. It's two different types of metal.
It is, yeah, and they're both impressive.
Yeah.
I think Death Glock might be more impressive just from a technical standpoint.
This is so subjective, and I'm realizing that now. And there's probably Spinal Tap fans, but like, I literally just listen to Death Glock. Like while I'm writing and doing stuff, I just put them on.
Yes.
So I have to say Death Glock.
Yeah. And if you're a music theory nerd or conservatory nerd or any of that,
just a nerd.
Yeah, you're probably gonna lean more toward Death Glock just because.
Yeah.
It is such like the way Brendan Small plays is just.
It's all Brenda Small, which
except for the drums.
Oh right, that
drums are somebody else. It's not him.
That gets us to the meta, which I would actually give this to Spinal Tap more, because I think without Spinal Tap there might not be a Death Glock.
Correct. That's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah, and the comedy talent behind Spinal Tap is just huge,
and it began the whole Christopher Guest thing.
Yeah,
that tone. Even though Rob Reiner directed Spinal Tap, that's a Christopher Guest movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you're almost certainly right. As we wouldn't have had Metalocalypse if Spinal Tap hadn't done that joke and been like, this is a genre of comedy you can do.
I think if we were judging. Like, obviously, Death Glock wins this, right?
In my opinion,
like
yes. This is, yeah.
This comparison, this versus. But if we were doing just talking about the movies or the entertainment, I think Spinal Tap would come out on top. Ultimately.
Absolutely. I don't think any other band on this list has the cultural impact that Spinal Tap does.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
We have to say goodbye to Spinal Tap.
I know, it sucks because I mean, Spinal Tap was only going to lose to Death Glock. Like it wouldn't have been beaten by any other band, I don't think.
No, you're right.
That's like the only band it could lose to in this is Death Glock, I think. So in a way, it's good that they lost pretty much. I'm saying right away, we're an hour into this podcast. Boy, we really didn't need to worry about stalling for time.
Whatever, man. This is about to go really fast, though.
That's true, yeah.
We're about to do our final fight. The Queen Haters versus Thugnificent. I have put these in a bracket.
I'm going to give that to Thugnificent.
Yeah, I am too.
Mm-hmm. This
is going to be real quick, folks.
Based on all the factors we discussed.
Versus all the factors we discussed about the Queen Haters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to Thugnificent. Gonna have to give it.
Yeah. Yep. Next bracket, Death Glock versus Gem and the Holograms. I would kill a human being to see this lineup live.
Yeah, to see this bill.
Yeah. This is, if anybody could fight Death Glock, it's Gem and the Holograms, right?
Obviously,
Just as like, yeah. In fact, I think Jem would win against Death Glock in a physical battle. But that's not the only criteria here.
Some dumb fucking luck would happen to eke Death Glock out without them ever having to actually participate.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's usually what happens
killed
to
by
Death
a giant or something.
Yeah, or like a plane would crash.
Yeah.
Because Murderface would toss like a Pringles can aside and it would derail a train somehow.
That's Death Glock though, right?
That's Death Glock, yeah.
Okay. Battle 3. Thugnificent versus the Blues Brothers. It's a real bummer battle.
I know.
Because the Blues Brothers has this whole legacy. And I don't know about you. I think we've made this clear is like I do not care about the Blues Brothers. Like personally, right?
No.
They just have a legacy hanging off of them.
They have a legacy and I like both of those guys.
Yes.
The band itself don't care.
Yeah, I want to give it to Thugnificent.
I also want to give it to Thugnificent.
Whoever wins goes on to the final battle, which is going to be funny. Which is why I kind of want to give it to the Blues Brothers. Yeah. We know who's going to win, folks. We know who's going to win.
We've known who was going to win since we started recording the first episode.
Yeah. Because the next battle is the Stains versus Death Glock. I'm sorry, the Stains. I'm sorry, Death Glock has to win. Which leaves Death Glock versus who? The Blues Brothers or Thugnificent? It's an Adult Swim battle, which is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty interesting, you know?
Yeah.
But I also like the Blues Brothers. In a more fair world, this would come down to Spinal Tap versus Death Glock, right?
It probably should have, yeah.
But we bracketed it by genre. We whittled it down by genre.
Mm-hmm.
We could have pit all the TV and all the movie stuff against each other. We could have done it that way, and maybe we should have, but we didn't. So who do you want Death Glock to beat? Thugnificent or the Blues Brothers? I kind of want Thugnificent to have won.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, if I'm being honest, in a battle of the bands between Thugnificent and the Blues Brothers, I'd give it to Thugnificent because I enjoy Thugnificent's music more.
Right. I just think it's funnier because I'm imagining a literal battle of the bands where they're both on stages or sharing the same stage. And obviously the Blues Brothers would get like scalded to death or something.
Sure.
In that case. But you're right. Thugnificent won. Thugnificent versus Death Glock.
Mm-hmm.
It's Death Glock, folks.
It's Death Glock. Yeah. I mean, we can pretend like what is it? Folgers coffee?
Duncan Hills?
Duncan Hills. There you go.
Yeah. Do you folks like coffee?
Do you folks like coffee?
Amazing first line of a song.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We could pretend that the Blues Brothers were killed by Duncan Hines coffee.
Yeah. My God. We probably noted this. Matt Osborn, when they commissioned this, they're like, I only make sure you have Death Glock in it.
And we were like, friends, don't worry.
Yeah, and it was one of those things. It's not this wasn't fixed by Matt.
No.
Because when they said that to us, I thought like, yeah, not only are they going to be in it, but they're going to win.
Yeah. No, as soon as you told me the premise of the show, I was like, well, it's Death Glock.
Yeah.
Like that's the best one. That's the best one.
And I think this is now a time to note, like, I'm not a big metal fan. I listen almost exclusively to punk rock.
Mm-hmm.
Metal, especially the type of metal Death Glock is, personally, not something I listen to. I'll listen to 80s hair metal because I had a friend who was really into it, like bands like Halloween, and like those ridiculous, like
Iron Maiden and shit.
Ridiculous metal bands, yeah. But like Death Glock, that type of music, personally, I'm not, obviously I don't know what your background is, but like not something I was into until I listened to Death Glock and was like, this is fucking amazing.
Pretty much, yeah. No, I was not like the most metal. I didn't listen to too much metal, mostly punk.
Yeah. Where the branch for me was Gwar. Gwar is the band that I legitimately like. I've seen Gwar 5 times live. They're just, and again, they're kind of Death Glocky, but they're more towards the side of 80s metal.
Yeah.
They've evolved over time. They definitely have albums like War Party or like, what's the other one? It doesn't matter. That are the more modern ones before Dave Rocky died. We're leaning more towards Death Glock, but like Death Glock is basically animated Gwar.
Yeah.
Because they have a lore behind them and ridiculous gore. And there's just something fundamentally charming about a band that does that type of work, that has a lore. So it's still probably personal taste, but like in terms of creativity, the amount of music that they have and the musical quality of it, the talent, I feel like we came out with the right band.
Yeah, no, Death Glock has 4 albums and they're all really, really good.
Yeah, I'd say like this is why the Blues Brothers hung out for so long, is that I feel like if you're a fan of the blues, you either hate or love the Blues Brothers. I don't know.
Yeah.
We have blind spots. We definitely had blind spots here.
Oh, of course.
In terms of band that I actually like the most, it's probably the Stains on this list. But in terms of what wins, it's Death Glock.
It both is Death Glock. It's the band I like the most, and also the band's like, well, yeah, that band wins.
Sure, yeah,
it's them.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to Death Glock right after this. I'm gonna put on Thunder Horse.
Yeah, listen to
in the dark and close my eyes.
The rock opera if you haven't.
All right,
it's really good.
Yeah. Are we done?
I think we're done. I think that's it.
Is the fake band battle over? Winner Death Glock. What do they get, Tom? What do they get? Do they get that Grim Reaper toilet or whatever?
No, get him the Grim Reaper chair. Get him the bone throne.
You win, Death Glock.
But we're gonna put a shit in it first.
Yeah, we're gonna shit inside of it.
Yeah,
That's perfect. That's the perfect gift for them.
We are going to insert a shit into the Grim Reaper throne.
Yeah. Or we have to give them the most metal gift of all.
Nothing.
Oh, shit. Matt Osborn, thank you so much. This has been a delight, this little mini-series. I hope people enjoyed listening to it.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it was something.
Yeah, I hope it was something. And, let me tell you guys about our Patreon. Patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. If you go there, you can find exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman and Fox Mulder is a Maniac.
You sure can.
Yeah, there's for a $10 tier, you can watch movies with us every Friday night. And then there's tiers like this one that created this, where you can produce your very own podcast. It can go out public, or you can just have it for yourself, for whatever perversions.
Like a strange goblin, you can just keep it for yourself. I don't care.
You can just hoard it like a dragon. Jeff Bezos. If you want to pay us $1 million to make a secret podcast, go ahead, do it. We dare you. We fucking dare you.
You've put the idea in my mind now that Jeff Bezos is a secret dragon, and honestly, it makes so much sense.
Oh yeah. I mean, all the rich people.
Are they all dragons?
They're all dragon adjacent for sure.
That's true.
They're what
in the same category
were warning us about.
Dragons.
Yeah. Your move, Bezos.
We also have a store, speaking of Bezos. tpublic.com/store/gamefullyunemployed, where you can get t-shirts, masks, mugs, stickers, all posters, all kinds of stuff. So check that out.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah, buy our exclusive Jeff Bezos wear.
Yeah,
we're gonna make a whole Bezos line.
Jeff Bezos is a secret dragon. We're gonna have a shirt that just says that, and then we're both gonna get sued into oblivion.
Yep. Or I got an idea. We go into Photoshop, we take the color of his head, we sample that color,
and just
make a shirt
dragon.
that's color. Or a dragon. I was just thinking a shirt. Just a shirt that's flesh colored.
A flesh color.
Specifically, Bezos is flesh.
I think if we made a flesh colored dragon, that would be pretty great too.
That would be pretty great. And erotic.
I have greenlit both ideas.
All right.
In my capacity.
Keep an eye out for our flesh dragon. We're gainfully unemployed, and we have a flesh dragon coming at you.
Discovered the secret of the flesh dragon.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Take it easy, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
3, 2, 1, 0.